Brett Eagleson lost his father on 9/11 and is joined with other families in calling for more answers about Saudi Arabia's role in that day. Brett, we're sorry for your loss. We know this is a challenging conversation. However, does this sound like the president is making the Saudis, quote, pay the price, as he said?
Well, you know, I would just want to say that I don't blame the president of the United States for going to Saudi Arabia. We have a crisis here in America. Gas prices are over $5 a gallon. You know, he is our head of state. He has a moral and a fiduciary responsibility to go to Saudi Arabia. But I think that what we're saying as the 9/11 families is that he has to go to Saudi Arabia under the context of bringing accountability, closure, and justice for the 9/11 community. We have been fighting for 21 years now for vindication that the Saudis were, in fact, responsible for 9/11. We have just recently, as of last September 2021, by President Biden's own executive order, we now have declassified FBI documents that prove without a doubt that senior government officials in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia were directly responsible for 9/11. So again, President Biden is our head of state. He needs to go there to negotiate a number of issues, whether it be oil, whether it be the carpet bombing of Yemen, whether it be accountability for Khashoggi, whether it be to, you know, discuss any numerous issues that are very, very important. Iran peace, and, you know, there's the peace that President Biden wants to bring between Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Iran. We don't blame him for doing that, but we also want to say, if you go to Saudi Arabia, please, please, Mr. President, you campaigned on the promise that you would bring closure and justice to the 9/11 community. Do not forget about the 9/11 family members and make the Saudis held accountable for the role that they played in killing my father.
We have another soundbite from Kirby as well that shows how the White House is framing this visit. Let's roll that tape, please.
We have a long-standing strategic partnership with the Saudis going back 80 years. Their pilots and our pilots flew against targets, ISIS targets in Iraq and Syria. Their sailors, their ships sail every day with our sailors and our ships in the Arabian Sea and Arabian Gulf. I mean, there's a long-standing relationship here that's built on a lot of shared mutual national security interests.
So, Brett, that kind of speaks to your point. Are you concerned that some of these conversations the president is having may delay revelations from 9/11 overall or have any other impact on your mission?
Look, President Biden campaigned on the promise. We have the campaign letter that he said if he were elected president, he would declassify the documents that FBI officials have been saying for years show that there's Saudi accountability. Well, he actually did declassify those documents. And I blame it on the mainstream media, and I blame it on the media at large for not covering the significant evidence that we have produced that prove, without a reasonable doubt, that the FBI said, these are not my words, these are not the family members' words, these are the FBI's own words, that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was responsible for 9/11. That was 21 years ago. So if the president has to now go to Saudi Arabia after knowing what he knows, we hope that he brings the message of peace, justice, and accountability from the 9/11 family members.
You know, and there's also this issue of the Saudi-backed golf league. Some 9/11 families not happy with Phil Mickelson and other golfers. We have a clip of questions he received after participating in a Saudi-funded golf series there.
Is there anywhere in the world you wouldn't play? If Vladimir Putin had a tournament, would you play there?
That's speculation. Not even going to comment on speculation.
So just in a generality, is there anywhere you wouldn't play on a moral basis? If the money was right, is there anywhere you wouldn't play?
I don't need to answer that question.
So that, was golfer Ian Poulter. So why the outrage in your view over Saudi Arabia, but not Qatar or China, with major celebrities speaking out against some of those regimes, would you say, Brett?
Well, I think that's an unfortunate circumstance that a lot of these former PGA players, rather, that have chosen to go play for the LIV tournament do not understand the atrocities that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has committed all over the world. So you played a clip earlier about how our countries collaborate and we have Navy ships flying together and pilots flying together. So they do that on one hand, but the Saudis are very duplicitous because on the other hand, they fund this radical Wahhabist form of Islam. They fund jihad against Americans. So the reason I think that the 9/11 community is not outraged about China or some of these other atrocities in these other countries and governments is because we don't have the FBI reports that's saying that China sent a bunch of government officials over here to kill our loved ones. We have concrete evidence that from the FBI, not our words, that the Saudi kingdom both facilitated, they facilitated both logistically and financially the murder of our loved ones. And I wanted to say one point here is that there's been a lot of focus on Phil Mickelson and some of these others that have chosen to go over and play for the Saudi League, and it's the Saudis' ability to whitewash their atrocities by taking the focus off of them and distracting all of us. But I want to praise the PGA tour members that have said no to the Saudis, and there's a lot of them, and they all deserve praise. Rory McIlroy, Bubba Watson, the list goes on and on and on. Those golfers deserve praise, and they deserve thanks from the 9/11 community for standing up for what's right and what's just, and not taking the bait and not taking the hundreds of millions of dollars and not going to play for them because they have a good conscience and they stand up for Americans.
So how do you believe, and we have 1 minute left here, the president walks that fine line, gets both missions accomplished in this upcoming visit?
Well, I think it's a very fine line. I think it's a very easy line to walk. The president should go there with his declassified evidence. He should go there with the CIA documents. He should go there with the FBI documents. He should go there with the notion that he's coming to bring peace and justice and accountability. He should go there with this campaign promise and says, look, I am the head of state. I am elected president of the United States. My number one concern, and he said it and his press secretary has said it, his number one concern is Americans and the 9/11 family members. So that needs to be topic number one, is address the fact that his FBI, his CIA, his government has said that without a doubt, the Saudi government was 100% responsible for the attacks that killed my father on 9/11.
Mr. Eagleson, we certainly appreciate your time tonight. It's a sensitive subject. We really appreciate your voice. You've been seeking answers.
Thank you for having me.